Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a lockdown Wednesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to our friends up in Queensland in particular on the first day of spring. And of course, the Sapphire Series unfortunately has come to a close. Of course, the grand final was last night, but unfortunately for the Wildcats, unfortunately they just missed out on finals this year, but I'm sure they'll be back better than ever in 2022. We've got two very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about it. Thanks both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries. Well, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position both of you play on the court.
So my name's Jess. I play at the moment actually all three positions in the mid-court, so around centre, wing attack and wing defence.
I'm Courtney. I pretty much played just centre and wing attack this year. Usually I do play all three, but I stuck to mostly wing attack this year.
The season for the Wildcats in 2021?
I think coming out of a really, really strong pre-season, we had to we rebuilt the club a lot this year. We had a lot of new recruits, a lot of young girls that made up the team. And we had a really strong pre-season. We came out of pre-season really strong, really excited. And we did. We started the season off really strong. I think we, played our game and each played our roles. I think we had a few hiccups, a few injuries and things like that along the way. And I think we struggled to be consistent for 4 quarters throughout the whole season. So I think, we took it to a lot of the top teams, which was great. But I think the main downfall was probably stringing a solid 4 quarters together.
Definitely, and I totally agree. And just being a completely new team, so not many of us have actually played together at all. So we had a really good pre-season and stuff like that. But just injuries and consistency kind of got to us this year.
Now, you mentioned about quarters a moment ago, Courtney. In your competition in particular, you get points for winning quarters throughout the Sapphire Series home and away season. I guess how much of an emphasis is winning quarters?
I think it's huge, and I think every week going into a game, we'd break down the game. We'd say just take it, quarter by quarter, and a solid 15 minutes, and then we'll refresh each quarter. So they're very important because at the end of the season, obviously points do add up, and we were consistent. I mean, we did steal some points from the top teams as well through quarters. So I think just pulling out, being able to put out 15 minutes and then being able to reset for the next 15 minutes. And I think we were able to do that for 3 quarters for the majority of games. It was just 1 quarter that used to let us down.
A couple players in your team that had an awesome season. I know you don't want to single anyone out, but tell us a couple of players in your team that had an awesome season, and you can't include yourselves or each other.
Hallie Geyer, she is a young player. It's her first year in Sapphire Series. She was probably one of our main defenders, and she was just really consistent. She put 110% in every training session. I think she barely came off the court, which was so good for someone that's so young. And I think she really looked up to some of the older girls as well, and just worked so hard all year. And she was one of those players that just fought out 4 quarters. So I think she played an awesome year.
Yeah, look, I totally agree actually. Hallie had an amazing season, especially just pretty much grabbing the opportunity with 2 hands and completely nailing it in everything that she did professionally as a player. My other shout out would probably be to Amaris. So she got brought up into our team. But she honestly was so strong in attack, holding as a shooter and stuff like that as well. So she was another player that I thought really took the opportunity with 2 hands and played really well.
Now, tell us a bit about your amazing coach, Megan, and what have you learned under her coaching?
Like our mum, our coach, our best friend, all in one. She's just amazing. I think she has such a good outlook on the game itself. And one thing that stood out to me, we always said we're people before we're players, and I think that's so important to know. That there's so much going on in the outside world, and just being able to be around each other at netball, and really enjoy the company that we have together. She was all about team spirit as well, which is something that, you know, successful teams need. And yeah, she always had an answer. I mean, you come off the court and something wasn't working, and she just always seemed to know what to do and have, you know, different game plans set up in her head. And yeah, she's an amazing coach. I hat off to her for, you know, yeah, putting up with us all season.
Yeah, I totally agree. Look, Megan, just as a coach in general, she just always seems to know exactly how to change things up and when to change things up. She literally gave us every tool that we needed this season to win, and we just needed to put that on the court. The moments that we did was amazing and stuff like that. So she's just an awesome coach in general. And yeah, look, she's a mum as well. So it always does help when she has that motherly vibe about her as well.
You must tell us a couple of the other coaches that is alongside Megan as well, and what have you learned from those coaches?
Gav and Corinne. So Corinne, honestly, she just has such a sporting background in general. So as a coach, she kind of worked with us attackers a lot too. So same with Gav, being based on footwork and stuff like that. They just knew how to lift our intensity, and they, like, as again with the whole parenting thing, they just also were so easy to talk to and get along with, as well as just giving us constructive criticism as well that we did need as players.
Yeah, I think across all three coaches, I mean, we'd rock up to training and each coach would take something different and have a plan of attack for that training session. So they'd break up the trainings and each would have us for a certain amount of time. And I think just their coaching, the whole coaching panel was awesome. They each brought something different to trainings and to the games. And they were just able to create such a fun, hardworking environment for us.
Now, considering both you play in a very similar position in the midcourt, there for the Sapphire Series for the Wildcats, tell us, how special is it to play with each other on the same team in the very similar position? How effective do both you work together?
I personally think that we were pretty strong together. Look, I knew Court, we played a little bit in Melbourne. I didn't play much with her in the team. But coming in here, it was just, we were probably one of the only few players that actually knew each other before this team got put together. So we kind of already had a friendship prior to that, and there wasn't really any tough love or anything like that with fighting for a position, which was good. We both take criticism the exact same way, and we can both give it as well as take it, which is something that we were both fine with. Pretty much everything coming off the court and feedback and stuff like that, it worked really well with us because we don't take things to heart in the heat of the moment and everything like that. So I think us personally, we did really, really well with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think as well, we're both flexible with our positions. If you know, Meg thought that one combination would work better with Jess in the centre or me in the centre, we were able to just adapt really quickly. So yeah, it was good fun. I feel like every week we brought something different. Whether each position we played, it was always a different game, and we brought something different. So yeah.
How did both of you get involved in netball, and why did you choose it?
I played netball from a very young age. I actually also played tennis. So I kind of got to the age of 15 where I had to pick if I wanted to play a team sport or play solo. And I think I was more at that age, surrounded by my friends and everything, that I decided to just stick with netball, and it's just never stopped really since then.
I actually have an older sister, and she's about 5 years older than me. And Mum used to take me down on a Saturday and to watch her play. And Mum always used to say that I'd annoy her and I was running around with the ball and everything. So when I was about 4, Mum just said to the club, put her in a team so I don't have to look after her. So I think I've been playing since I was about 4.
Now, you must have tell us your local junior netball club, and do you ever go back there?
My local netball club was actually like New South Wales, but I'm going to go with the one in Queensland, was Northern Gold Coast Netball Association. So I played there for, I'm going to go with 6 years until I decided to take my netball more seriously and stuff like that. Going back there, personally, I have a twin sister who plays for an opposition team now. So I think I go more for the opposition team at the moment than Northern, but also still my home team. So still love them and would cheer them on as always.
My junior club was Diamond Creek netball club back in Melbourne. I still talk to all my coaches and everything today. I had a really good netball environment. They all played at a high level and then were able to coach us as well. So yeah, that was a great club to grow up at, with a lot of potential to grow and to make those bigger teams.
Obviously, Courtney just mentioned it, but Jess, did you say that you also played down here in Melbourne?
I was playing down there. We did a few training sessions and trainings and everything like that together, a couple of games, but I decided to join the Navy, so didn't end up finishing the season down there or anything like that. But yeah, that's where I met Court at Ariels.
So considering both you now up in Queensland, and obviously not down here, obviously we're not sure what's happening with the VNL down here, but do you communicate with your former Ariels teammates down here in Melbourne?
Yeah, I definitely do. I've got one of my best friends, Stacey Gannon, who has played for Victorian Fury and things like that. She is still at the club. She's she was my coach. I played with her. I grew up at Diamond Creek with her. So yeah, I'm well and truly in contact with her, and her sister as well, Brookie, who coaches down there, and they were probably my biggest inspirations growing up. So it was great for them to be able to coach me and then me to go through the pathways and then start playing with them as well.
Honestly, no, not really. I wasn't there too long, and I think when I left to the Navy, I didn't really have my phone, so I wasn't able to communicate with anyone all the time. So yeah, I kind of lost all the connections down there.
So what will be some highlights throughout both your netball journey so far?
Highlights. So probably my last national series for Queensland. I actually had Megan as my coach. So it was always good having a mum as well as an amazing coach there as well. So that was probably a highlight for me, just finishing the under-19s Queensland with such a strong team, as well as having an amazing coach that just made everything just so much better and fun for everyone.
I would say nationals as well. I think going to Darwin at a young age and being able to experience that with such a young group of girls was so exciting and something that I think you always remember. And just taking that next step from playing representative netball to the Victorian Netball League, and then up here playing in Sapphire Series as well. So yeah.
I need to ask you this question. Considering you were living in Queensland, you did come from Victoria. Are you a Victorian or Queenslander now?
I'd always consider myself a Victorian. However, with what's going on lately and all the lockdowns and things like that, I'm very happy to be in Queensland. Yeah, I do feel back in Victoria. I think it's horrible. Like, my family and all my friends are still down there. But I've been here for the last 18 months now, and just because of the weather and everything, I'm going home anytime soon. So I would probably say I'm starting to become a Queenslander.
You're a Queenslander. We're claiming it.
Both you mentioned right at the start what position both you play, which obviously was a very similar position, from wing attack to wing defence, and obviously including centre in the middle. If you had a preferred position where you like to convince your coaches to put you for next year, where will that be?
Wing attack.
Same me, I'm taking goal defence. That's my position. And learn how to rebound, and then we're sweet.
Just maybe grow just a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry, Hal, I've got your position.
What does the sport of netball mean to both you, and especially being there at the Brisbane South Wildcats? I
think just being in a netball environment, like growing up, most of my friends have always been through netball. I think I've just had so much more in common with them, and that's helped me like shape who I am and my pathway in life and my career and things like that. Being part of the Wildcats is such an awesome feeling. It's such a good group of girls. It's such an amazing, supportive region, and the committee and things like that do so much for the club. We have a lot of young girls that aspire to play Sapphires one day, and it's so good to be able to give back to the community as well and go and do clinics and coach them and watch them grow as well. So I think the Wildcats are definitely in for, such a great future after this year, yeah.
Yeah, look, I totally agree. I just think the Wildcats it's just like a family now. After having a year away from the game and then coming back, I wouldn't want to do it with any other club. They're just such a caring, supportive community as a whole, and everything. We always have support at all of our games. whether that's being from little representative teams or just teams from Jim Boomer and stuff like that. There's just so much support and love in the club. And yeah, with all the players and everything, we have a lot of young players coming up. So it's just always good to have so much support around, especially with the coaching staff and the committee and everything like that, that are just so passionate about the game themselves.
Do either of you have any future ambitions in the sport of netball?
Look, after taking a year off, I think I kind of found my love for netball again. So yeah, it would be great to make teams and stuff like that. But I think netball for me personally has just shaped me into a person that has so much more motivation in a career, whether that be with netball or outside. But yeah, I think yes and no at the same time, but would definitely love to get back into those representative teams, including Wildcats and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely do. But yeah, at the moment, it's just kind of where it is. So.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think everyone would love to, play for the Birds and things like that. But yeah, netball brings so much. It's just about, the motivation and, the friendships you make and everything. So yeah, I mean, it's always an end goal, I guess.
And what would be your advice to people out there that should get involved in netball, especially down there at the Brisbane South Netball area?
I'll do it.
Yeah, do it.
Amazing. Friends you meet. The coaches that invest all their time into you to make you those players that you want to be. Netball is great. It's so much fun. You get to do it with all your friends, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, look, I think the same. I just think take the opportunity with two hands, and honestly, it's just a good game to just play. All of the friends you meet and the people along the way, and the things you learn as well. It's not just little things about netball. It's more like life stuff as well. So it's really good.
Who had the most embarrassing moment on the court this season, and what was it? Knowing that your games are live streamed.
Were you thinking the same thing, Jess?
Me? I was thinking the one where I fell over the stand with the ad. That was the only other thing I was thinking of.
No, I was at Murray Field and you ran into the wall and broke your wrist.
Oh yeah, and I broke my wrist. So, yeah, probably me. I did break my wrist running into a wall.
Yeah. That's probably the best, to be honest. I'm just trying to think, actually. We had a few. I think Josie ended up on the ground 95% of every single game. She was
yeah, literally.
She had a big collision as well. But yeah, I think everyone there was a lot of Falcons this year. Yeah, too many in a count.
Yes, I need to ask you this question as a follow-up. So when you collided into Moray Field, number one, was it caught on camera? And number two, did you try to stop yourself before it got to that point?
Yeah, so I'm nearly 99% sure it was definitely on camera. I don't know who threw the ball. Someone threw the ball to me in the pocket, and I went to flick it back in, but the wall is just like so close to where the court is. I tried to stop myself with my hand, but my wrist just decided it wanted to break on me. So yeah, look, it was kind of an embarrassing moment, especially I'm pretty sure it was like our second game. So yeah, that was always lovely.
So Jess, how many weeks were you out for?
Literally one game. So I actually kept playing the whole season with a broken wrist.
Oh, Jess.
It was lovely.
So did you are you having surgery for that?
So it's talked about, but no, I don't think I'm gonna go through with it. It's healed okay. It's healed okay. We're good now, so we don't need to stress too much about it. But yeah, that was definitely an embarrassing moment for myself.
It's a comedian in the team.
Courtney.
Yes,
I do agree with that.
Definitely Courtney.
I think Hallie is honestly one of the funniest people I've ever met. Some of her ones. Corinne's a crack up. Corinne had us in stitches a few times.
Yeah, definitely.
I do actually agree with Jess the first one about you, Courts. You are one of the comedians, especially from what I hear from your Melbourne teammates down here. So as well.
I think people laugh at me.
Yeah, it's always laughing at you, not really with you, but it'll do.
Well, they didn't tell me that part, but Now, who's the best singer and dancer on the team?
Hallie
Yeah, I got to back that one in, Hallie.
and Lil. Lil goes all right.
Lily, they do. They're 16-year-old moves. Before
The little TikToks.
Yeah, TikToks before every game. Yeah, they've got some.
Oh, I love it. 16-year-old moves. Oh, they're going to love that. So I'm assuming they're pretty much going to be including my next question, which is anyone into their TikToks? And if so, is any of them TikTok famous?
Oh, I don't know if Lil is, but Lil and Hal definitely love their TikToks before every game and training session. They're definitely recording themselves, but not too sure. I personally haven't seen any myself. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't really know, but Court
Good
would
choice.
probably know more than me.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. It wouldn't surprise me if Hallie was. I feel like she's just, that wouldn't surprise me. But I don't know. Maybe we'll have to give them a shout out.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Oh, Jess. Here we go.
Yes, so many. No, I always just put my left shoe on before my right. And,
Yes.
strap my left before my right as well. But and I always have to be chewing gum. I know Megan hates it, but I'm pretty sure all the umpires like my nose ring. So that's my main one, is my superstition is my nose ring. I don't literally take it off until after the warm-up. And because the umpires check, I literally had Megan like standing there like she doesn't take it out until after the warm-up and like fully having my back. So that was awesome as a coach to do. But yeah, that's definitely my superstition, is my nose piercing 100%.
Sorry, Jess, I've got to have to follow up this question then. So, considering obviously the umpires check, actually, have jury and all that. So, when you get on the court to start the game, do they check to make sure you don't have like the ring on? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they give me a look every time, but they don't come ask. They have a lot of trust in me. They have trust.
By the end of the season, the umpires would literally come up and be like, "Oh, yeah, don't worry," like to each other, she'll take it. Like, that's how ridiculous it got. The umpires knew what the
I've just got to have it in.
What did you say you had any?
Yeah, one thing, I don't know why. I never go to the game with my dress on. I always just wear like a pair of shorts and my top. And then I put my dress on when I get into the rooms. That's every single week. I've just always done that. And I did go through a hair phase that I wear my hair in a bun. But we kind of lost a few games in a row, so I changed that one up. But yeah, mine changed. I reckon I have a few every single season.
Is there any pre-game songs to hype a team up before a game?
Oh,
Big
cool.
girl.
That's on you.
Big Girls. We played it every single game just before we went out. That was Josie's idea, actually. Josie brought that one to the team. I don't even know who that's by. Big Girls. But yeah, or Untouched by the Makers. That was also everyone.
Yeah, Untouched was definitely there.
Is there anyone on the team that has really good nicknames we should know about?
Midge.
Yes, good one.
Midgie. No idea why she's called Midgie. I played schoolgirls with her for so many years. But yeah, I'm sure it's Brianna, but for some reason it's Midgie, and I'm not too sure the story behind it, but everyone knows it's Midge, so not too sure.
And we'll finish up with this one last one as well. Now, mentioned about Falcons a moment ago. Is there anyone on the team that's copped the most Falcons in the season? And is there any players that are just clumsy that just trip over themselves, even though there's no one pushing them or contacting them at all?
Hey, Josie, but I feel like
I'd agree, yeah.
Yeah, Josie knows where to put her body so that she'll get the contact called on her. So I think she's very smart like that. Whereas Midge is just can be sometimes coordinated, and we love her for it. But like sometimes she's looking for the ball and someone will throw it into her, and she just doesn't even expect it, not even ready for it. I'd say Midge. I think Midge copped a few, didn't she? She's a funny girl.
Definitely.
So I'm going to finish off with this one last one. Now, considering all your games are live streamed this year, number one, do you ever watch them back? And number two, is there any funny moments when you watch it back, you just could not stop laughing. You had to replay it back to double check.
Yeah, I always watch back my games. Just always have. Probably the one trip, me tripping over the ads on the sides of the walls, and we were at quarter time and I went to walk around it, but I accidentally tripped over and the camera was right on me. So that was kind of embarrassing because it was like a slow fall at the same time. That was probably the only thing that I've done that I've laughed at myself for, but yeah, always.
Yeah, I always watch the games back, but nothing really stands out. I can't remember, to be honest. I think there was a few times where we were always late back onto court. So I think there was probably 3 or 4 times during the season we'd still be standing in our huddle and the other team would be on the court, and then we'd get cautioned and the centre pass taken off us. We were just too slow to get back on court. That happened a few times.
It's a bit embarrassing as a team.
Yeah, that was very embarrassing. That happened maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, that did happen a lot.
So when did it come to that point you realise, oh, actually, we better get back on court to play the game?
I think everyone else was just staring at us.
It got to the point where, like, we wouldn't even have time to put hands in. We'd be like, everyone on, and we'd just be running to our positions.
Yeah, and then you would step in there, set up pass, and I'm not on side yet. I'm like, hurry up.
Get them. That's a bit of a rookie error, to be honest.
Yeah, like, definitely.
I've got to watch back your games again this year to see those moments. Well, both of you, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's definitely the funniest interview I've done so far this year from the HART Sapphire Series. And best of luck for next year. And let's hope for the Wildcats that you can go a couple steps better in 2022 and hopefully make the finals. And who knows, could be into both of you about hopefully a premiership.
Sounds good.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Nice, thank you.
No worries. And that's Jess and Courtney there joining us there from the Wildcats netball team there in the HART Sapphire Series, because we want to support the team in 2022. Of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can support the team if you're in the Brisbane area in particular, in the 2022 season. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this day go away here on the 10th year celebration.